Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. So today I will be talking about the saint, the great scholar of Islam, a wonderful mystical poet, great Mevlana Muhammad Jalaluddin Balkhi, as known as Jalaluddin Rumi or Rumi in Western world. So we'll be talking about the life of Mevlana Jalaluddin Rumi, the three important stages in his life, and also some of the great work that he did in his life, which is very, very inspirational for all mankind, Muslims, non-Muslims, the people especially who are seeking spirituality. So let's get started. I am simply sharing my knowledge which I gained from one of my teachers while studying the essential of Islam. So let's get started. So first of all, since he is known as Rumi or Jalaluddin Rumi, his name is Muhammad and his title is Jalaluddin, means the majesty of the deen or honor of the deen. Deen means religion. And he was basically originally from Balkhi in Afghanistan in 1207 according to the Gregorian calendar. So it will be like after the hijrah of Prophet Muhammad, 604 years after. So Maulana Bahauddin Walad was the Maulana Rumi's father, and his lineage come from the Abu Bakr Siddiq, the first caliph of Islam, mashallah. And the Jalaluddin Rumi, basically when you hear his name you always think about the poetries and Whirling Dervish and all that. Basically he is very, very high caliber scholar who teaches Quran, Sunnah and purification of the heart and soul. In Islam we call it nafs. So basically tasawwuf, that's what he teaches in his poetry, which basically a reflection of the inner branch of Islam, which is called tasawwuf or Sufism in English. So when Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi was 12, his father moved the family away from Balkh since there were lots of political problems arised. So when Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi was nearly 25 years old, his father passed away. So he basically had three stages in his life. The first one was known as like Shamsuddin, which is basically when Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi get that foundation from his father, because his father was also a very influential scholar in that time, and he was surrounded by lots of scholars, and he learns the exoteric deen, a religion of Islam from his father, and he also teaches it. Then he meets Sheikh Burhanuddin al-Muhakkak, and then he learned the purification of oneself. Purification of self, growing circle, or which is known as TAZKIYAH in Islam, which is basically getting rid of evil qualities and acquire good qualities. Like TAZKIYAH has two stages itself, which is one is tahliya and the second is tahliya. So tahliya means adorning, beautification of your soul, embracing goodness, embracing good qualities, like modesty, self-reflection, charity, help others in need. And tahliya means purging, getting rid of the quality that might be obstruction for you to attain the closeness to God, to Allah. So those qualities can be arrogance, riya, which is known as ostentation, which is basically show off for the sake of dunya, world, that, oh, I have this luxury and I have that luxury, I'm better than you, jealousy, envy, all these bad qualities, or backbiting. So takhliya is to get rid of those qualities, and tahliya means adorning, beautification of your soul by attaining closeness to Allah, praying, remembrance, which is we call in Islam zikr of Allah, zikrullah in Arabic. Then refraining oneself from lying, helping others in need. Do not talk if it's not good. So I mean, talk concisely and nice words. Stay away from vulgarity or curse words, of course, because you're using the same tongue to remember Allah Azza wa Jal, the creator, maintainer, and sustainer. So these are some, it's very deep knowledge to purify one's soul. It is also something that when your nafs, your soul say do this, and you tend to do that. For example, you have lots of food in front of you and your nafs is, you want more, but when you make it, you have intention to purify your soul, you don't listen to that and you refrain from doing what your soul says. So when your nafs says something, you refrain doing that thing. So that will help you to control those desires which can be which is like emerge like that. And this is how you control your anger. So if you're so angry but you do not implement that anger on someone, it means you controlled it. So it is a great remedy for lots of worldly issues. And once you do that, once you can get that self-control because of your self-reflection, it definitely elevates your rank in the eye of Allah, in the sight of Allah, mashallah. So let's talk about his life. We were kind of going the other way. All right, so because the tasawwuf, the Sufism is a very, very deep topic, and that's part of Islam, that's necessary part, TAZKIYAH, which is purify yourself, mashallah. So that's how he purifies himself and do TAZKIYAH and refrain from bad things, attain good things, and like good traits and qualities. And the stage 2, when he meets Shamsuddin Tabrizi, who is also very famous historical religious personality in Islam. So Shamsuddin Tabrizi's name was also Muhammad Shamsuddin Tabrizi, and he was known as a wanderer. He met Muhammad Jalaluddin Rumi in market, who was also in search of something that attained his spiritual goals. So, well, I would just want to mention that Shamsuddin Tabrizi tomb was also nominated to be a UNESCO heritage site recently. So he meets Shamsuddin Tabrizi in the market when Mevlana Rumi rahmatullah ta'ala alayhi was 37 years old, and he saw something in Shamsuddin and went with him. They had some conversation which was very, very spiritual, and also something that inspired knowledge seeker. You are in the way to seek knowledge, a knowledge, a mystical knowledge, a spiritual knowledge, right? So the relationship of them, like compared to Musa alayhi salam, Moses, Prophet Moses, and Khidr. So like that. Stage 3 was post Shamsuddin, which is after separation of Mevlana Jalaluddin Rumi and Shamsuddin Tabrizi. This is the time when Mevlana Rumi became so ecstatic because of the separation and longing, because they were each other's like companion of each other. They were Shamsuddin Tabrizi was like a teacher, like a I would say a sheikh for Mevlana Jalaluddin Rumi. So Mevlana Jalaluddin Rumi was very ecstatic, and he became a poet. I would say a great poet, and he did so much work, which is still, mashallah, very, very helpful for knowledge seeker, and teaches us the way of life, mashallah, in the way of Sharia and Sunnah, and also teaches lots of things about TAZKIYAH and purification of soul, mashallah. So after that, Salahuddin Zarkub helped Mevlana Rumi deal with the separation from Shamsuddin Tabrizi. And then Hasanuddin helped Mevlana Rumi work on his Mathnavi after Salahuddin passed away. And there was an earthquake in Konya. In 1273, Mevlana Rumi passed away. Spiritual disposition of Mevlana Rumi was of a reflective nature, like the moon. So I would just conclude here that influential people in Mevlana Rumi's life was Bahauddin Walad, his father, Burhan al-Muhakkak, who initially took him into the path of tasawwuf, Sufism, purification of the soul. It makes you a perfect human. Sufism, tasawwuf, mashallah, the branch of Islam, makes you purify your soul, and makes you a selfless personality, mashallah. You think about others before you. You are always conscious that God is watching you, and you never do something that displeases him, So mashallah, it's very important aspect. And then Shamsuddin Tabrizi, the most influential person, who is also known as Shams. Shams means son of Mevlana Rumi's Badr, full moon. Salahuddin Zarkub, who gave hope again after separation with Shamsuddin, and Hasanuddin, who influenced the Mathnavi and helped finish that work. So mashallah, this is to conclude his introduction, and also we will just go ahead and briefly mention the work of Mevlana Jalaluddin Rumi. His work is so deep, huge, beautiful, artistic, articulate verses, words of poetic. So he had discourses, letters and poems, fihi ma fihi, which is it is what it is, and in that he has various topics, speeches and talks. And then another very famous one is Majlis-e Sabah. Sabah means 7, so 7 sermons. So in that you learn lots of ethics of faith, iman. It was pre-Shamsuddin era, means when he wrote this Majlis-e Sabah, he did not meet Shamsuddin Tabrizi, okay? And then Maktubat means the letters. So the letters that he wrote to community, for discipline, family members, sought help from Mevlana Rumi to those people, to show he was at the center of the community and had a connection with people, to rectify them, to advise them. So mashallah, those letters. And then of course poems, the best work, mashallah, Diwan-e Shams Tabriz. It's a very long book. It's written in post Shamsuddin era, when Mevlana Jalaluddin Rumi was so ecstatic, so much in longing, which is also known as Ghalabatul Hal. So he was like overtaken by the state of ecstasy. The work is very influential, very inspirational, mashallah. So, and then he had Mathnavi, which has 6 books on various topics, mashallah. We'll definitely go ahead and discuss this further in next video. So this is to conclude his introduction and the work. Alright.